Weather Impact Live here. And in this edition, we got some kind of breaking news here. We have our third named storm system of 2026 in the Atlantic. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta.
I'm meteorologist Lee Southwick, and we were watching this over the past 24 hours. This system has actually fairly quickly organized enough to be named a tropical storm.
And it's not the one you were thinking of, because we have been monitoring a couple other areas further towards the south here, coming off of the west coast of Africa. And those ones kind of heading out there towards the Windward Islands. But Cristobal, now named by the National Hurricane Center, out here in the North Atlantic. And if the cone tells us anything, it's going to be kind of a short-lived storm here, Lee.
Yeah. So, they noticed overnight that the satellite imagery was really showing they were catching on to essentially gale force winds. So they're like, okay, this thing is strengthening, but it was kind of disorganizing a bit more over the overnight hours, 2 to 5 a.m., kind of falling apart some. But you can see a little bit of a swirl there when we look at visible satellite.
You have to look at visible, though.
You do have to look at visible. It's hard to see. I think this is definitely one of those storms that, with the new technology, we're able to name it. Back in the day, they would have never really called that a tropical storm. And like you said too, Robert, it's about to move over cold water. So tomorrow, this whole thing is probably going to fall apart because the water will be too cold to support this system.
Yeah, the only way this would have been named 50 years ago is if some unfortunate sailor was coming along and he was reporting winds from the south, and then all of a sudden the winds started coming in from the north.
Yeah.
And because, the wind's in this 30 to 40 miles per hour, so solid what you would see inside of a thunderstorm. But any sailor worth their salt would see this. They would start to see the winds coming in from the south here, and just by seeing the motion of the clouds and everything, would know, okay, we have to kind of split this and head out that way. It's kind of head towards from my Navy days, 101, head away from the center and towards kind of the right to get away from the worst of the weather there. So as long as you're not a lost sailor out there or a fish that is kind of confused, you're not going to be impacted by this. That's my advice for it on this one. It is heading towards the east. The Azores is probably going to see some showers out of this eventually, but nothing more than a strong winter storm. And just generally, this is kicking off some big swells out there. But, not this storm alone. Overall, we do have some pretty decent long period swells all across the North Atlantic right now. So, it's kind of some of the impacts we're seeing from this. So, I don't want to sit here and hype Cristobal because really it's there. I think our attention, Lee, should be on the ones further towards the south.
Yeah, and so just, again, a real quick recap, because we just got that push alert to our phone, so people are now tuning in from the app. Just letting you guys know, you can see Cristobal on your screen there. It's the one in the northern part of the Atlantic, and it is going to be short-lived. So it is a tropical storm. They noticed some gale force winds in it. You have to look at visible satellite to see that swirl, but they decided to go ahead and call it a tropical storm. Winds of 45 miles an hour, but it will be moving over cold water tomorrow, and it will fall apart. It is moving to the east. It's not even too much of a concern for even the Azores, let alone here at home. So again, if you're tuning in, no immediate tropical concerns here to the first coast. Cristobal is not our problem. And Robert Spetta and I are watching the two waves moving off. There are tropical waves that moved off the coast of Africa. One of them has a high chance of becoming a tropical depression here in just the next couple of days.
Yeah, actually, the latest update, you see 80% in the next 2 days. This one, if you look at it on satellite imagery, honestly, I think both of these down here in the south look better presentation on satellite, at least infrared, than Cristobal has towards the north here.
That's very true, which is it's funny.
It's the NHC's got a whole suite of tools. The next one would be called Dolly.
If this even becomes, a tropical storm, I think tropical depression likely. Does it hold on long enough to become a tropical storm? Definitely possible. But it will also encounter some dry air as it approaches the Caribbean. And so, Dolly or not, I think some of the Leeward and Windward Islands would have to watch out for some gusty winds and heavy rain. But if that only stays a tropical depression, we're watching that second wave behind it. Right now, only a low chance of tropical formation, but it's moving right across that area in the Atlantic where that environment is conducive for formation.
I mean, both of these, they look like this is definitely...
Yeah.
I think,
that looks like a depression right there.
Yeah, I think today we will have a tropical depression out of this.
Yeah.
That's my humble expectations with it, just based on the satellite imagery. Guidance also kind of spinning it up. But most of the guidance also does back it off once it gets kind of closer to the Caribbean as it encounters some dry air. And we can even see that here just with our extended outlook. This is with the ECMWF showing our storm kind of heading off there towards the west. And yeah, it does try to spin it up there, but doesn't really maintain some terribly strong intensity heading into the Caribbean. With that said, still could be looking at some pretty decent rainfall out here for the Windward Islands and maybe even over towards Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so, the last graphic said too early to know if it will impact the islands. We do think it will impact the Windward Islands now more so than the Leeward. I think they even said Leeward, but Lesser Antilles, just generally speaking. And then, yes, up to the Leeward Islands and maybe even Puerto Rico. Even if it's not a named storm or even if it falls apart from a tropical depression, it's still heavy rain and some gusty winds associated with that. So if you have vacation plans in the Caribbean, especially to those islands, there's a lot of cruises that go over there, beautiful islands, but this would be something to watch. It would be for this weekend mainly.
Yeah, and that's about it. I mean, it's really nothing screams hurricane out of this or anything like that. And one of the big reasons is, of course, if you just look at these spaghetti models, if you're in like Guadalupe, for example, there, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's all coming at you. But as meteorologists, we look at it a lot more than just spaghetti plots. We look at, what's happening throughout the atmosphere. And this is one of the big things. There is a lot of dry air and the Saharan dust. Now, one thing, and I kind of see it here with this guidance, Lee, and just based on the analysis with this, sometimes these storms, if they do intensify enough, they can pull in moisture out of the south and kind of overcome that Saharan dust a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be a unlikely scenario, but it's still a possible scenario nonetheless that we would have to monitor, because if it did that, it might overcome it and kind of maintain some of that intensity further towards the west. But right now, it looks like that Saharan dust and that dry air is just a little too strong to allow this to kind of get some good lungs to breathe here. Think about like if you're a runner and you're smoking, or you're running through smoke and you're trying to breathe in, it's not going to happen with this. Sea surface temperatures are warm enough, though, out there. So it's got that part of the fuel, but that's not the whole story here, Lee.
And then even with that last graphic you're showing with the Saharan dust, you could kind of see the blip behind it, which I think was the other tropical wave that we've been watching, too. So if you see behind it, you see that second one, that tropical wave there, that's also kind of being picked up. Yeah, so that's the other area that right now has a low chance of tropical formation, but it's going through the same thing that the Invest is going through right now. So it's following behind it. It will fight that Saharan dust. Waters are plenty warm. We'll just have to wait and see, but it's definitely possible to see that chance of formation continue to rise. It already has this morning. It went from 20 to 30. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it kind of bump up a little bit more.
So, yeah, that's a look at the tropics out here on our Wednesday. Of course, we have Cristobal, if you're just tuning in right now. High chance of tropical development. It could be called Dolly. I personally think it probably will get it, but we'll see. Dolly in the south there, and then behind that, Edward would be the
Edward, yeah.
Edward.
And that tropical wave, I mean, you were pointing it out earlier. It looks pretty decent.
I'm not going to hate on anybody named Edward, but I do have a soapbox here a little bit. If you name your kid Edward and that's how you spell it, you're one of those people. Like, unless it's a family name, okay?
I think it's a cultural name.
Yeah, if it's a cultural,
I think that's Spanish or maybe French.
And I get that. Hold on. Or it's you're Edward the Third or something like that. But it's like we all know those people that they're like, I'm gonna put an extra E in there because that's the way I want to do it.
Okay, yeah, it says it's early English, Old English, masculine name. Meaning guardian or protector.
Oh,
just quick Google.
Okay. All right.
Edward.
And now I know.
Edward. Like Twilight, but not spelled the same.
But it's not spelled that way because no one spells it that way.
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Oh, goodness. Don't put me on the spot here.
Team Jacob.
I think Jacob's a little creep.
Creep?
He's a little creep. Edward's a creep, too. He's an old man. Jacob's all like... He's
trying to ruin my childhood
they're both
over
weird.
here.
They're both weird. I don't know.
Take a look at the big picture.
I'm team the other guy that was like in high school was trying to hit on her and stuff.
The regular human.
The regular guy who's like, hey, I'm not gonna bite you or anything. I just want to hang out and maybe go to prom. I'm on his team. He's a cool guy.
That's appropriate. That works.
That's
We're team what's his name?
Dad. That's very dad of me. I'm like,
but you're onto something.
I don't want my daughter dating a vampire or a werewolf. Let's just go with the normal dude.
Okay.
Anyways, off the trails here. Let's switch gears, and I do want to also talk about what's going on back on land here. And then we're going to get to our forecast, excuse me, across the first coast because we're very hot. We do have a weather impact alert that was just issued here this morning for Thursday and Friday. But further towards the north here, Lee, some pretty wild stuff coming out of there. And first, I want to show you some video of a car getting hit. By some straight line winds. And
man.
This is wild here. So this is from yeah,
oh my
right. I-71 in Columbus, Ohio. We're going to put a little circle on there so you can see at home here.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Yeah, drivers slowed down here as that car got flipped out over in the right lane there. No injuries were reported. One of the most wild things I see in this video, though, is look at the car behind them. They're just like, nope, and they keep on driving. Okay, some of them do.
Okay,
a lot of them
they're
do
stopping
stop.
there.
Okay.
Took them a second.
It's just like, what do you do if a car just gets launched right in front of you? Like,
yeah, it also looks like the tree. So there's a tree that got blown down then right there.
I get the feeling there's some funneling going on here or something.
Yeah, I mean, they said it was straight line winds. I mean, you do see that straight gust there, but it looks like there's a tree. You can kind of see it laying on the side of the road right where that car gets flipped. Do we know if they're okay?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
There says no. At least this report says no injuries were reported in this. Whoa! Just tell your boss.
You usually see that with trucks. And
and what blows my mind is look at the box truck behind them. He's just chilling there,
just far enough away. And on the other side, a semi comes passing. Wait till when it clears a little bit. Wait for it. Semi.
Yeah, right?
Semi right there.
That semi, then maybe if they got a heavy load on, a little extra weight, but oh my goodness. We could analyze this all day. This is pretty wild stuff. But that makes me think there's funneling here because it's in this like one little narrow corridor where that wind just gets thrusted right on through there.
All right.
Staying in Ohio, also the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction confirmed 16 inmates at a facility there were hit by a lightning strike on Tuesday. 16. Do believe we have some video out of there too, because according to officials, group was returning from a meal there and walking from one building to another when lightning struck. Those injured were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. One had to be airlifted from the scene.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Authorities had initially indicated 8 people were injured before the number doubled actually to 16. So what makes me think happened, they were walking across the grass in the field there, hit the ground, and that lightning, it
just
like
traveled.
Yeah, it still can travel. This is the same reason why we say don't go under trees, because if it hits a tree, it actually goes through the ground and it can get dispersed out and hit a lot of people.
And then if it's been raining, that like moves through the water, the puddles more too. Yeah, that's just awful. 16 people.
No deaths, but like
Thank
I
goodness.
said, one person did have to get airlifted there.
Oh.
I mean, my goodness. And you just imagine, like, they're probably walking in a guarded group from one building to another. They're outside.
Yeah, they just ate, right? They're coming from a meal. Like, just going for your stroll after. Like, I love walking after eating.
Overnight here in Ghana.
We are going to get to that one in just a second.
I do want an update on that earthquake.
Yeah. Actually, let's pull back the screen here. And since you just seen that, I'm not going to leave you hanging too long on it. We'll talk about what's going on out there in Colombia. First, I do want to remind you, let me pull up the graphic for it here, that in Colombia, we had that 7.4 magnitude earthquake over the weekend. The death toll does unfortunately continue to climb there. I mean, we had
over
much
200 now.
Over
I think I saw.
Oh goodness! It is so. With that said, we do have a report out of Colombia, just some of the latest information on what's going on at Ground Zero out there. So let's go ahead and watch that.
Overnight here in Cali, rescuers saving another man from this rubble, what used to be an apartment building. Hordes of volunteers coming here, helping to move some of that debris. Tragically, they say they've also pulled out bodies from this rubble. Thousands, unfortunately, are also still unaccounted for here in western Colombia. That death toll now staggering above 200 lives lost in this horrific earthquake. Firefighters today taking the lead at structure sites just like this one, asking volunteers to take a step back and to not climb on the rubble, which is very difficult because so many volunteers have showed up at sites like this to help clean up debris, to help with the rescue. But now they are urging caution because they don't want anything here to collapse. They are asking them to just take a step back and they will call you as necessary. Aftershocks have also been a concern. There was actually one here last night. There are so many compromised buildings here that engineers have not had a chance to review. So there is a major fear that some of these structures could yet still fall. It's been leading to road closures, which has been complicating getting to and from places. But ambulances are staged at many of these sites. Again, the hope here is that anyone that is still alive can be found. Unfortunately, that window, that critical window for saving them, is quickly closing, but that's not deterring the volunteers and the first responders who are continuing to keep hope alive. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It really is an ongoing, just tragic situation there. And this is on the heels of that large earthquake in Venezuela as well, just one country over, a separate country, but still the same region of the world. And even as we're talking right here, this is our current look, you see that little flashing right below my sign right there? That just popped up as another aftershock taking place out there live here with that report coming through. So my goodness. All right, let's bring this back closer to home. Meteorologist Lee Southwick just had to step out here. So you got me for the rest of our show here. We also got some people commenting, like Casper saying good morning. Wild times in the tropics over the past 24 hours. We've had 3 special outlooks and 2 primary advisories. Yeah. Even in the Atlantic or in the Central Pacific, we have a new potential tropical cyclone east of Hawaii that has developed up as well. But what I want to do right now is take it back closer to home across the southeast, including here in Jacksonville and on the First Coast, where we do have a weather impact alert in place for today, but also extending that over towards Thursday and Friday because of the heat. It is going to continue to be hot out there. Words of the day, it's that sunscreen, shade, and stay hydrated. And on top of the heat, we could even see some storms across our area. Those temperatures warming up into the mid to high 90s and the heat indices up to about 110. And then with some relief through the afternoon heading into the evening here. So a little bit of relief at least. With some scattered showers, might even see some stronger to severe thunderstorms at times by about 5, 6, 7 o'clock. As overall, we get kind of this trough dipping in from the north, helping to fuel up some of these stronger cells. So the heat, and then we get a little mid-level instability. Yeah, the ingredients are there for some local strong to severe thunderstorms. The only good news is that this will bring some relief from the heat after it passes on by, but unfortunately it does come with the threat of some strong storms that could, especially right in the middle of your evening commute here, feel some impact. So that is one thing that I really want you to watch out for as we look ahead through this afternoon and into the evening here. So for our Wednesday, 95 degrees, hot and humid out there. Scattered afternoon storms are likely with those winds light out of the west. Sunset's going to be right on 8, 11 p.m. The storm setting up likely a little bit later into the day. May be having a rather beautiful sunset out there. For the jumbo shrimp, showers could be in the area, but they're playing against Syracuse today. First pitch is at 7 o'clock. That is on our Wednesday. Just so you know, I will be out there hanging out ahead of the game on Saturday. And I believe our chief meteorologist, Lewis Turner, is going to be throwing out the first pitch for the Jumbo Shrimp on Saturday as well. So something you can look forward to. Syracuse, for our Jacksonville friends, fun little fact about Syracuse. I actually saw Tim Tebow play. Tim Tebow from, the Gators. I saw him play on Syracuse like 10 years ago when they were playing there. I watched them up in Rochester, New York, actually. They were playing over there. So, yeah, it's a little tie back to home if you head out there to watch them. He's not obviously on the team anymore, but it was during his stint when he was trying out baseball for a little while. Taking a look at our high temperatures over the next few days. So Friday is the hottest. We're going to have to 97. Heat indices up to about 110. Even watching towards the weekend, still going to be hot, but at least... the subtropical ridge just remaining in place, and it's going to continue to dominate. And here's the other deal. As long as that ridge is in place, any tropical systems that try to develop down here towards the south are going to continue to head off towards the west across the Caribbean here. And I think some of our guidance is starting to follow up with that and kind of keep those long-range models kind of pushing our storms towards the west. So for now, that heat is in place. We do have a little front trying to butt its way in. That was that trough that's going to bring those showers today and into tomorrow. But the heat is just continuing to dominate. And you can see that here today. We got those afternoon storms, then going ahead into tomorrow on our Thursday, some afternoon to evening storms, and likely even heading over towards Friday as well. So for our high here on Thursday, 96 degrees, a few pop-up storms, feeling like near 110 degrees out there. And same over towards Friday, 97, just more heat. Absolutely brutal. So a weather impact alert in place for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday due to that heat. Although on Wednesday, we also have some strong to potentially severe storms mixed in there. If we get any severe storms, we, of course, will be streaming live here on FCN Plus, making sure you are staying posted. All right, so that's what's going on in the weather world. I also do want to talk about tonight, overnight here on the 12th heading to the 13th, anywhere you are in the world and wherever you may be watching from, as long as you have clear skies, could see the Perseid's meteor shower. It is peaking overnight here. Could produce upwards of 50 to 70 meteors per hour in dark skies. So just set your expectations. That is a lot for a meteor shower, but it's not what you see in the cartoons and the movies where they're just raining down and literally a shower. Let's say we get 60 meteors per hour. That's one a minute. Although this particular meteor shower is known for creating fireballs. So it's not even just those little quick, fast-moving streaks, but even some brighter ones out there. That is because Swift-Tuttle actually passed through the Earth's orbit back, I think, in 92 or 93. And I'm just thinking that off the top of my head. Behind it leaves this little trail of debris. And then as the spaceship Earth drives through said tail, that creates our meteor shower. So, yeah, that's why it is annually about the same time of year, every year, because that is when we get to that part of orbit around the sun. So, pretty neat stuff there. If you do want to go check it out, though, as I said, overnight here on the 12th heading into the 13th. So, our Wednesday heading into Thursday morning. Best is after midnight, but before sunrise, not only because that's the darkest time, but also because that is when the Earth is rotating into that debris field from the comet. So basically think of it as if you're driving down the road and you're looking out the back window, and then as it rotates, you're looking out the front window. And obviously, if you hit anything, it's going to hit the front window. It's not going to hit the back window. So that's why you have to wait until after midnight when the Earth kind of rotates into it, and then you drive through that debris field. And the weather is not looking all too bad for the Perseid's meteor shower out there, too, at least here in Jacksonville. We're looking at mostly clear skies, a pretty warm night out there, not the type of night. This is another reason why this one's so popular, because during the winter, with like the Geminids, like that takes place in some colder months, and there's just people don't like to sit outside when it's freezing after midnight. It doesn't seem fun at all. So yeah, all right. Quick recap though. Why some of you may be jumping on here is because we were talking about Tropical Storm Cristobal has just been named by the National Hurricane Center. It's not the storm you're thinking of, though. This one is in the North Atlantic, and it is out there. It really being disrupted, got a lot of dry air filtering into it. Our spaghetti plots just kind of show it moving to parts of the Azores. That is just indicating a hot mess. And really, we have to look at visible satellite imagery to even see the low-level center. So it is not I'm not going to sit here and hype a storm like this. Let's save the hype for when it's needed. And when we do have a very serious storm. Actually, the two storms towards the south, I think, look even more organized than this one, especially over here, just coming off the coast of Africa. That Invest 92, I do believe, today will probably have tropical depression out of it. I mean, right now, it even already looks pretty organized. And even the one behind it looks more organized than Cristobal further towards north. That's my humble opinion, but the NHC has put out that name on it. The next name, though, would be Dolly, so little cute name for the next one, and that could be this one heading out there towards the Lesser Antilles. By the time it gets there, probably going to be a decent rainmaker, maybe some impacts with that. All right, Sam Martin just jumped on here, says keep up the great work. 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much, Sam. And with that said, and just after a quick recap out here in the tropics, gonna leave you guys here for now. If we do have any severe weather, though, we'll be here streaming on FCM Plus, as well as don't forget, we'll be back at 4, 30, 5, 6, 7, and 11, giving you the latest information on what's happening out here, not only in the tropics, but across the First Coast. I'm meteorologist Rob Expedit. As always, thanks for stopping by.